Hi everybody, I'm posting this YouTube video. Well, you're not going to see any pictures because I've nothing to show you. I prefer my face not to be seen, but I've been blocked out of Facebook initially, and it happened this morning when I found a message sent to me from a dear friend. It told me that the coronavirus is a scam and that there is a Chinese doctor who has proven that it can easily be solved with 8 cloves of garlic. I don't know whether you crush them or not, but I didn't get a chance to read it all. But 8 cloves of garlic, and you put it in. You boil 7 cups of water, fresh, and you drink it when it's cooled down. So cooled boiled water with 8 cloves of garlic, probably crushed because I don't fancy munching it right through garlic. So those who have the virus, please try and do that and see if it works. But when I saw the article and I decided to send to everybody I knew on Facebook, halfway through it, Facebook logged me out. They stopped me from doing that. So there must be a truth in it. I don't know whether... Look, garlic or onions, as I say, are good for a cold. It's a different form of cold. It's out there and it's more deadlier form. But I don't think it's really dangerous for a lot of us. We can actually sort it out ourselves. I firmly believe we can use a bit of our own knowledge, do a bit of research. I did find a video of it. Some kind of man in a Senate was actually questioning about the coronavirus being a scam or not, and I didn't have a chance to watch it because when I was trying to copy the link and put it into Facebook, it disappeared to me. So Facebook is stopping the truth there, I firmly believe. So I had to use a different account to try and get in again and send it to a reliable person I know to tell her about what's going on. That this virus could be, well, a scam in getting us to believe that is... Now, I know people have died, but I read another piece somewhere on the internet where 6,000 people got cured from it. And there's a lab in Dublin, they're based in Dublin, Navan, Novo Lab, and they've sent over some kind of cure for it. So something going on there, they're going to send it to China. My own local church this morning, when I went in, I couldn't bless myself. The holy water's gone. I can understand there's people who are scared, but going to a church you shouldn't be. Number one. Number two, it's a place of God. And holy water has a lot of healing properties, which I know I've experienced myself through my own sick child and myself. And I'm kind of questioning, okay, there's people that are scared. Okay, you don't have to take it, but I want to take it. I want to bless myself. I'm willing to take that chance. That is a true person that is, I suppose, faithful to God. We are ambassadors to God. We are here to serve God only. It seems that man has gone out of line with itself. Between climate change, yes, some parts of the world do not control their environmental areas where they dump rubbish, and poor children go around looking for rubbish to make a bit of money, and at the same time they're being breathing in chemicals from the rubbish they're burning. Yes, there are parts of the world like that. But I thought, lo and behold, my own country was okay. I'm paying environmental tax on my bins. I clean my bins inside and out. I put in my bins. I remember one day the bin man told me my bin was contaminated. And I said, what are you talking about? I had to investigate it myself. I went out, I checked my bin, there was nothing wrong with it. I rang them up and I said, there is nothing wrong with my bin. Now, when I took a more closer look, I discovered the barcode was dirty. So maybe, if you couldn't read the barcode, maybe it was a barcode that was contaminated and not the rubbish. So, climate change is a responsible change. And this is what Greta Thunberg needs to address. It's up to everyone to do a bit for the environment. Yes, we could be dying, but the climate can change, does change over so many thousands of years. Alright? And there probably is an overpopulation of us. But we need to control that. There is nothing wrong with having children in the world. All of a sudden we have a debt culture in our society. euthanasia, death penalty on prisoners. Prisoners in prison might be guilty. There are some who have been killed off because they were proven to be guilty, but they might never have been. But, you know, as a faithful person, thou shalt not kill is one of the commandments. So, yes, let them do their service. If they are guilty, of course. But what if they weren't guilty? What if they're an innocent person? It could be anyone. One of us could end up being in prison like that and killed off for what? Couldn't prove it. And that's why there's so much hatred and racism out there. You know? Different colour, different skin. It's really wrong, really. And there's a lot of it going on in America. And it's an awful shame to see that happening. That we have people in society that hate other people because of their colour of their skin, which is wrong. We are all God's people. We are here on the earth to help each other, one another, and those who have more than others, to give a percentage of their salary or of their money to help those who are unfortunate. And this is the thing that's going on in the world at the moment. Everything's fast flying. And okay, for a long time I've been fighting my husband, spending all this money. Now, not on myself, okay, overspending, I suppose, in food and not watching where I was going. And for the past 10 years, fighting over. And I am being the guilty party. I admit it. And to this day, I've actually stopped. And I'm looking more so now in shops and looking at people. And I'm saying, hold on here. What we need to be doing is helping our communities. There is a lot out there. Yes, young people are highly being affected by issues in communities falling down. And we need to help them. We need to help the more vulnerable people, like themselves, to show them there is a way to life. Show them that everyone can get a job. Show them that we are all just human. And yes, we can fall down, but we can pick ourselves up again. And there is a lot of support and services now in this world than the world in the past. The culture of debt is so prevalent in the whole world. I just can't, can't control it. I've been trying to do stuff myself in my own local community, little bits, but I find that it's a bit too small for me, too slow. I need to get out there and help out more, but how do I do it? So we need to come together with our thinking caps and try and come up with some ideas. Now, for a long time, I've been in a church, brought up as a Catholic, right? All my life I sat at the back and I listened. I was a very quiet child. It was only until I left for college I got a bit louder, very loud, so to the point of I'm loud enough now. But, I can be discreet and professional in what I do. I can do that. And I can give logical advice to people. I stand back and I look at the world and I see it dying. Dying that so many communities are falling apart, separations, children affected by separations. We adults are not being responsible towards our own children, in that we need to guide them in their life and show them that, okay, marriage is okay, but because so many people are deciding just opting to just be separated or don't bother getting married, we are not acting as adults. We are not acting proper adults, but we should be giving a good example to our children. All right? Give them good values. It's all lost. All lost in this world. Young mothers are out there working hard and leaving their children behind. A lot of them go wrong. I'm not going to say anything bad about here. We're all kind of sinful people. We all go and drink and drugs. It's a very easy thing to do. But it can be very easy. If you really put your mind to it, you can go off that stuff. It is not very hard. Now I've gone away from my topic, haven't I? I'm so sorry about that. But I do. And many ways you can help in society. If you're on your own, go out there and seek local community projects. And best ways going about it is charity shops, libraries, ads and papers. Sometimes it might be backup papers, mostly volunteering. But volunteering is good because you're getting to meet people and it's good for your CV, especially if you're a young person who can't get work. Volunteering is the key in your community, and there's always stuff out in the communities. So keep an eye out for that. Social media is another good place. But I'm finding social media is cutting me out. I have about 3 accounts with Facebook. One has been closed off. Oh, I sent for submission because I found out the truth about coronavirus. I don't know. Maybe I did. But I always said an onion won't do you any harm. Right? We go to the doctor too easily. So I'm urging people to think outside what other people are thinking. Stand back and take a look at your world, a look at your house, look at your friends. You only learn true friends when you want something back yourself. All my life I never asked anyone for anything. I've learned to be tough. But right now, there was a calling. I have a calling in life to go out and spread the good news of God because He's been so prevalent in my life. I've been so blessed. He brought me to my husband. I have 3 beautiful children. One I'm conflicting at the moment, but we're sure we all have our worries. But we can work on it. I'm working on it. I could have easily walked out the door of my own husband, but I didn't. I came back because I made a sacrifice on that altar, my husband, for better, for worse, in riches in I can't remember the saying, but in poor till death was part of it. Right? So I'm very faithful, but if it came to we have to separate, I'd separate, but I wouldn't marry again. I wouldn't have another husband in my life, another man in my life, because it's the wrong thing to do. What we need to focus on here is other people in our lives. Other people. And it could be just a neighbour across the road, or it could be someone that's a little bit upset. I've been approaching people a little bit upset. Most of the time, they do have worries. Sometimes I get it wrong, and I feel like an idiot, but I keep trying. I've approached my own church in the area of saving souls. Now, the people say to me, oh, it's your belief. Maybe my belief, but it's everyone's belief. It's like a book. You got to pick it up and you got to read it. All my life, I've gone to church. I kind of faded away from it in my 20s and 30s because I found no meaning to it. It was just like a load of freaking crap and looked like just a bunch of old people go there. Well, what am I doing there? So, for a long time, I was away from it, and I was still a good person. But that's not good enough to save your soul. You gotta be a good person, and you gotta do your prayers, which is what I've picked up now. You know, I say a decade of the rosary with my children at night time, and we pray for other people, and we pray for ourselves, and that's the way to do it. Bring in good values, and we have to cut back on technology. It's hard. Oh my God, you know what happened the other day? Oh God, I recommend it to everyone. A fitness tracker. Got on eBay, right? $11.99. Got my girl one, the little girl, she got one. Oh my God, she wanted to go for a run last night. I'm not a runner, but I went. I actually enjoyed the walk. She did about 6,000 steps, 6,000 steps. And yes, I reached it too because I was out earlier that day where I was picking up litter in my own estate. I do that. I love helping in my own community. I do as much as I can. I'm an open person. I might have told all my whole story to you right now, but so be it. I've been trying to approach my church to speak up for life. I do pro-life. I have to admit that. But I see there's a lot of bad kind of media on the pro-life person. The pro-life person is just another person who has a different opinion, but it's a truthful opinion. We're not against women. You know, we do like women. We're women ourselves. Or who are as women. Pro-life, of course. We do believe that there's a misconception out there. All of a sudden, there's a death culture out there now. Maybe climate change, part of it too. Climate change is trying to tell us we're overpopulated. We may be. But we can do well. We're humans. We can adjust to changes. We need to change, of course, to our environment. I understand that. But for a long time I've been told that, you know, the Amazon is dying. And that's a long time ago. When I was a little girl in primary school. When I was back in 1982 maybe. Yes. But, you know, things can be changed. And we can write letters to our governments if we don't like something. Or we have a suggestion for something. I've sent a few letters. Some things were done. Some things weren't. I remember during the Gulf War, back in 1990. She was so scared of it. I actually tried to write a letter to the president. I don't think it got there, but I tried. I got my Corona typewriter and I wrote my letter saying, please don't go to war. I was stocking up a food tins. Yeah, that little shop. But the shop wasn't a shop anymore. It used to be a shop, but it didn't do very well. We tried, you know. Mammy was always trying to, you know, bring a few pounds into the house. So, so I bought a few tins for that to go for war. It stopped, thank God. But I think it was about prayers. Probably did it. So don't be afraid of things. Reach out to other people. My suggestion is, and try to live a good life. And a good life also, maybe, I'm not trying to force you here, because I'm not trying to force, try to pray to God. Now, recently I got the picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and displayed in my house. I actually was on a kind of a trip away with my husband and his hometown, and there was a car boot sale on. Well, I wanted to get a cross, because I was really up, you need a cross, holy water, Sacred Heart of Jesus. So I went to the car boot sale and I was going through and going, oh God, I can't find it anymore. So I was at the last table and this lady had the crucifix. I couldn't believe it. €4. Fantastic. Great bargain. But I felt bad because she was telling me her son didn't want it in the house anymore. It scared him. I'm kind of going, maybe I should have told her, maybe you should keep that. It's a cross. You shouldn't let your son dictate to you. Because he's only a boy, you know. Didn't know any better. But she was giving in to him, you see. That's why we needed adults to be more self-disciplined, and we need to kind of lead our children in the right way. And we can only do that only if we get the good example from our own grandparents. So there's a lot of fixing to be done. I can't fix the world, but I need helpers out tomorrow. I need you all to start doing your bit. We're all called to help people in the world. We're called to be charitable and be good to people. And maybe come up with ideas to stop what is going on. Sometimes we have to fight our governments in their laws. Sometimes they're in place might be what is right. We have free will. And we have the choice to choose yes or no. But there are times where the choice is too open. It's not looked upon as... The other side is never looked upon. I've noticed that when I was doing my pro-life stance on the streets. And I'll just tell you an example of what happened. The yes side set up the stall. I was at the AIB side, and the yes crowd went over to Bank of Ireland. This is in Ireland now. And they actually were giving away sweets to children, which was kind of hitting the point of, okay, this is about killing children in the movies, so, you know, selling sweets, wow. So I had my gear on, and this side decided to come out with their leaflets. So I approached one of them and I said, can I read what you're giving to people? And the said, I'll give you my brochure and can I take yours? And they said no. So I said, okay, that's fair enough. Took off all my clothes and I walked over to the stall. And I said, do you mind if I have a look at your brochures? And can I take some sweet packets? And I said, fine. Because I wasn't wearing my gear. Didn't know who I was. So I thought it was a bit of a shock really, but I got them alright. It was the only way I could get them. They wouldn't listen to me when I was wearing my gear. I was of no threat to them. I was just like an ordinary citizen. But the thing is, the case of Savita was one of many cases that happens in Ireland. Nearly about 2,500 women who present themselves in Irish hospitals actually get blood poisoning. And so I don't know whether some die or not. I don't have research properly, so you know, you have to look this up yourselves. But so the yes side used the vote of Savita as being one that was really the sure side that we should have abortion in Ireland. And they mostly based it on that. And then other bits about percentage of women being attacked by men. Now the thing is, of course it's wrong for what the men did to the women, but I have a different way of thinking. And my thinking is a good one. They should keep their children as proof that the man raped them. Therefore, they will be sent to jail because they have the DNA. Number two, you know, okay, they should have been responsible. I'm not going to judge them on that, but okay. maybe it's their way to have to raise that child. Now, maybe young one, 16, 17. I'm sure they have a mother or somebody in the family might look after that child. Or even, they might look after that child, or even they might have friends or look towards services. Look, in the past, the Catholic Church was all into pro-life. And the Catholic Church did a lot of abuse on children. I'm totally disgusted with that. And they need to be brought out and they need to be trialled for what they've done. Because so far back now, the victims who were there can't prove it, or they're long gone. But maybe the families of the victims. But you know, the church needs to be a proper leader and they need to clear up their sins. We have a case of Pope Benedict, you know. He was elected as Pope. Now, I'm not trying to do bad media on my poor Christian church, but as I am ambassador of God, I'm going to say that what I know of Pope Benedict, seemingly he was trying to get through to the finances of the church of 30 million that went missing, right? I know he was poor health and he was very old, but, you know, he disappeared very quickly. Seemingly to this day he lives in secret. Someone had said on social media, now you have to look this up whether it's true or not, but he's been jailed by his own Vatican. Yeah, jailed. Now, I'm not trying to go against the popes or the priests, but, you know, I do have to say that the church is not and should not be ruled by a government. And they need to lead people in the faith of God, which is, you know, stand up for life. And to this day, since the abortion referendum came through, they never said one word about it in my own church. I approached my local priest. I gave him and said I needed a speech written out. So I did a speech written out, a page and a half. Got no word from it. This is a young priest I was sent to our local parish, which I'll not say now at the moment. But I asked him, why didn't you not speak out against life? I was on the street, put myself out there. Don't mind, I'll do it again. And he said that because the bishops told us, and the bishops are told by the Pope, I'm sure, or the Archbishop. So it all comes down. It's kind of an institution that happened here. I'm not too happy with that. Right. Now, I was raised by the nuns when I was small and didn't see very much of the abuse in the convents that used to be run by the nuns. But, you know, I did have one of them. I think one of the last ones I had in my old primary school, where she used to have a ruler and beat it against the table and frighten all the kids. And the class I was in was the worst class in the school. And I was a good person, but, you know, you have to go along with the bad ones. But, you know, you do that. You keep quiet. But I'm sick of keeping quiet. So now I am kind of more, you know, I have a calling in life to help people. I have a calling in life to reach to people who do not know God. And I'm very open about it. I try to approach people in the street. I try to approach people, well, in the church. What do you think of that sermon? So we need to start talking to each other. The people who are called to go to Mass, who go to Mass, or who believe in God, need to come out onto the streets and help those who do not know God, who do not believe in Him, and to challenge that, to be evangelists. I think that's the word. And when you start, you know, it's actually not that hard to do it. At the start, it's very fearful stuff. I've done a lot of fearful stuff. But I've come out like I won the lotto. It's amazing. I've done a lot of stuff outside my own boundary, outside my own comfort zone. And everything has worked out well for me. It's amazing, really. Now, I've been called, and, you know, I've been called by God. I've seen God 3 times. Or seen Jesus in my 3 times. I would say that. Now, I was nearly put into an asylum for saying that to my own husband. He doesn't practice as much as I do. So, this is my life. You can listen to me or not. It's fine. You can share it or not. What I need to do is, okay, Fatima and Medjugorje are great places, and yes, Our Lady appeared to them, and that's great. Right? Don't feel bad if you are sick and you can't go. Your own place where you pray is much a better place than anywhere else. Where you feel comfortable praying. Be it at home, in your local church, in the park. Enjoy nature. That's, you know, and practice prayer. You will be surprised what differences and what graces you can receive. And it's the Holy Rosary, really. If you find it difficult, look it up how to, or share it with people. I've been giving rose beads to people. I've been popping stuff, buying cheap roses I had to buy because it's my own money I'm using at the moment and I'm not working. So I tried bits, but but the more I was kind of talking about God, people who have God in their lives, actually, such a man gave me a box of rosaries. That was very powerful. And leaflets to give to people, and I've had them now since, but my next challenge is going out in the street, and this is kind of taking me a while, but I'm get there, okay? So if you have any worries or comments to make, please do so at the bottom of the comment page on YouTube. I probably will get a lot of people who will laugh at me. I've got that. I do talk to people who are on the yes side. And I do challenge them. They're very challenging for me because they have a misconception of pro-life people. Pro-life people, as I said, are women, and we know the truth. It's wrong to kill. And the people who've had, and there are occasions where are you in control, that is not your fault, of course. But we're here to help people. Now, I'll tell you a story. When I was on the streets, we had sourced a lady who had an abortion in the past. She said she'd come and we put her story on a board. So I held her board because she was too frightened, because she lives in a smaller town and she thought people would recognise me as a... So I said, you know what, I don't care, I'll hold your story. I don't care if people thought I had the abortion. I will hold your story. It was amazing. The amount of women that came up to me poured their hearts out. And they said, if they had known to this day what it meant, they would never have done it. Another lady told me it was like a ghost in her tummy. Women are mentally affected by what they went through. And these are the stories that the pro-life side, actually, I was kind of shocked it didn't come out with very much in their stance of pro-life. The 8th Amendment in Ireland was an amendment put in to protect women and children. It had said nothing against abortion or anything. And, this culture of death is kind of a bit over the top here, there are ways people can get help, but you have to reach out. You have to put your pride aside. This is, there's certain sins, pride, gluttony and all them, they're there. So we have to put them away to a side, and we have to and I have done this in my life, put my pride behind. I might have said something very small, very tiny amount, to insulted a neighbour, and I had to pluck up the courage and say sorry. And I did it. And you know what? I've had peace since. It's very amazing. I've been very blessed. I have lots of graces. And I just wanted to share my story with the world, because some listen, some don't. Some look upon me as crazy. Some say, because they have no God in their lives, they challenge you. But I'm a lot more clever than you think. And okay, maybe not saying in this YouTube video, it's not very clever, but it's kind of going mad against Facebook, really. I was already sharing a solution to coronavirus, which some Chinese doctor did, and I said I'll share it to everyone. Look, I had an idea myself that maybe an onion could do it. When you think about logical stuff, this is bacteria, common cold, went out of control. Now there's 2 theories. It came from a microlab, and they're trying to put fear in people, as the doctor said, and then it could be from the market. But it's hard to know what's going on, but all I can say is that do not be afraid. Pray, and use a bit of common sense, a bit of wisdom about you, and stand back at times, I think you're too caught up in technology, and spend more time with family. When I was out doing a collection at a church, in a different parish, and I'll tell you this story. I saw this, this black man, I have to say black, I'm sorry, because, be anything by it, but he's from Nigeria, I suppose. He's from Nigeria, but he's a different colour to me. I'll just say that, maybe. Try not to be racist, I suppose, but it's not. I'm just pointing out colour here. But anyway, he was going to Mass with his crutches. And he could hardly walk. And my heart went out to him. And then another, he went in, and when he was coming in, I said to him, "Oh my God, you're so great. Wow, you're going to Mass in crutches. You have the strength to carry yourself into that church. God bless you." But I said to him, "You know what, on the way out, I'll give you a lift home." So, he said nothing to me because he didn't know me. And he went in. Then a young boy, a teen, maybe he's 14, was carrying a little child. He was going to. Then I noticed a coloured lady. I'll say coloured, I won't say black, excuse my language. Coloured lady, she came in on her own, and then there was another 3 kids. And they all came separate from each other. Could be noticed to myself, they were actually one family. And so then I went in after the collection, and I went in at the end to receive the Eucharist. I think I went in there to get the Eucharist, because the Eucharist is actually very powerful. Powerful, and it's nice, it's kind of receiving Jesus in your body, and it's like it's another new day to do something different, So I went in to get that, and I noticed him on the far right, and when he was coming out, I said, "Look, if I see him, I'll say to him again, and if I don't, I don't. I don't see him." So when I was going to my car, he was walking along. I was trying to walk, and his son was coming along. His 14-year-old son with a young child, and I said to him, "Would you like a lift?" And I've been blessed knowing this family. Very live poorly, but yet are grateful to God. They sit every evening at 7 o'clock doing the rosary. Now the children might want to be there, but I think some do. When I saw some of the rosary beads were nearly torn to bits, and I have rosary beads in the car. I just, I renewed them, or the rosary beads now. Not expensive ones, but there is no harm to do a bit of good. And so I was invited one evening to do the rosary with them, and it was the most powerful thing I've ever done. It actually opened my own eyes to what I'm not doing with my children, and I've started doing it since, and we've forbidden them. It's amazing what people can give to you. And I meet her a few times, and I told her, "Look, there's local stuff going on in the community. Like the library is a lovely place because you're poor, and they're not very poor, but there's so much money you could have, and it's very expensive in Ireland, not very cheap here." So I was telling her about how the children can sign up and be members of the library, local library. And she's done that, and then you can do courses through it. You can learn computers, and she's doing that herself. So, we can all contribute little bits like that, but we need to reach out to people. It's very daunting doing it. I'm not from the town where I'm living at the moment. I'm from a different place in Ireland, and I came here because we got married, myself and my husband, and we're looking for a house. We sourced a house, and now I have to pay a huge mortgage. So be it. But it's keeping us going, and for his wisdom, we're on the right mortgage, and now I'm starting to save more so now, and we can all do it, if you look upon it differently. Now, the thing with worries and things badness going on in the families, I understand it's very hard to control it. So you cannot control things in your family, and you want to, and they're not listening to you. Just step back, go into that church, and do confession. Confession is the best thing ever. You go in, you say it, you're forgiven. Come out, you're like a brand new baby, you are. Now, the stuff is still going on in the background of your family, but you can deal with it by renewing yourself, praying more, maybe spend more time alone, thinking about stuff, thinking out solutions in your head to God. I hope you do believe in Him. If you don't, pick it up. Pick up Christianity. It's the best ever, really. People in it, priests, bishops, popes, wherever they are, they're just human at the end of the day. And if they go bad, we need to challenge that. We need to tell them. We need to put them in place. And we're not trying to criticise her, but what we can do instead of criticising too much is to help in our communities. Reach out. Say, "I'm here now, I want to help." Now, I did do that in my own parish, and I felt like I was at a dentist or a doctor's place. I got 5 to 10 minutes. Very good. So, silence there I got, but then when I was pushed back, I tried a different way, and I'm doing a different way, reaching out to others. And this is from observation from others. Sometimes I get it wrong. I'm not going to need it, as I said earlier. Sorry, now I'm repeating myself because I'm talking without any speech made here. And but you know, I'm doing it now bit by bit, but I find it slow. So I need the volunteers of tomorrow, today, going forward. I need everyone who listens to this speech to try their best. And don't be worried too much. I worry too, yes, I can worry. Not very much. I actually do live for the now. A little bit of worry in the future. And in order to stop the worry in the future, do something about it. Write your letter to your politician. Volunteer in that area. They might need more workers tomorrow. Like we need more workers in childcare support in the government places like Tulsa in Ireland now we have here, but other countries, you know. And maybe pick up a job in that area. So psychology. A lot of psychologists needed in Ireland. You can go do it privately and you don't have to charge too much, because if you get enough customers and not charging too much, you probably would make your money. So psychology, I'm interested in psychology myself, child psychology, adult psychology. It's more kind of, there's a lot of mothers at home that might be able to get out and work. We would do differently like that. Homeschooling, which is very much needed now because there's a lot of choice out there and it's just been thrown in the air really on children. Children are so worried. I feel sorry for them. They're really, they're all worried now about climate change, and with that lady girl, Greta Thunberg, she's kind of making them more afraid and fearful. We need to cut out technology, maybe cut it out maybe 9 o'clock at night and stop it. And yes, maybe we need to go back to the old days where the shops close. Give people family time. There are Tesco's, you know, in my own parish, my own town, Tesco's. They actually, you know, people were working on Stephen's Day. Maybe 1 or 2 days off. And paid leave too. With the coronavirus, there's such fear and the governments are supposedly doing what they are doing, then they should, if they really do think it's serious, let people stay at home, but also give them paid leave or pay for all their bills or have the bills, you know, or let people, you know, be responsive, of course, not to overdo the bills, of course, not overdoing their internet or broadband and all that. But anyway, so maybe do it like that, you know, pay for the bills or get the employer to support their employees in that area of paid leave or some way they can get food, you know, like a bank, get their money out. People are worried about travel, so what's more worrying, the travel or your health? So you have to think about that. We can't be putting the blame on our governments all the time. They're just ordinary people. Do they think more than us? Sometimes people in the background can think better, right? Our own government is failing us in Ireland here. And we need change, but we need kind of responsible leaders too. Alright, responsible leaders and 3 main parties there, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin, should actually be able to work together. Whoever got in should work together and be responsible to his people. And if it means to be working with a different party, you have to put up with that and be a responsible leader in that area, because you're not showing responsiveness, actually showing childish behaviour really. You know, if we're going to government, you have to take it seriously. And we as people have to challenge that. We have to challenge what's going on in our culture. We need to attend meetings. We need to take on roles ourselves and not to rely on local politicians. Local politicians can only do so much. I've discovered myself that I don't ask a local politician for anything. I go out there and do it. I write my letters. I put my ideas forward. I don't expect to get paid for them really, but you know, my ideas are good. And then talk to people. I open the door for the elderly people. I don't care if I know them or not. I open the door. And people look at you as if you should know them. And I say, why did they? And I actually didn't get a thank you from today. Now it was one day there I opened the door. Not trying to brag, I'm just trying to show how people have gone strange. They look at you. Very strange from the older person to do that to me. Society has changed in its thinking, not thinking maybe, leaving thinking to other people. So we need to change that. I bid you adieu now, and hopefully this message about the coronavirus get out there. About maybe it's just a simple thing we need to do is, you know, sanitation and taking garlic or an onion. Now, you can just try those first. If you're the victim of coronavirus, you can try it and see. If it doesn't work, at least you try it. And God bless, and be good citizens and do your best. Thank you.